Today, I want to talk to you about why I lost faith in the Western academic consensus after going through the data at a university level. Recently, we've been seeing China more positively, says this article here. The shift has been quite fast, much faster than I predicted. Carney and Canadians have consistently surprised me as well. But I'm going to get into the topic now. 大家好, good morning. Um, my daughter painted this. Isn't that so cute? The colors she used. Only 4 years old. So, Western academic consensus. How did I start losing faith in it? I think the first hit was when I was researching Japanese colonization of Taiwan, Republic of China. And the majority of the texts left me with the impression that Japan is best friend. Japan did good job. Japan hurt nobody, right? And I believed that for a long time. I supported Taiwanese independence till I was about 20, early 20s. And then I started going, seems kind of off. What's going on? I started paying attention. But in general, when I was young, I hated talking about politics because I just felt like it was a waste of time where I was being lied to. And I still feel the same now, but I'm 40 now, and I see things with a different perspective. Last video, I mentioned 2 rounds of cancer changed me. The first time I survived, I became really toxic positive, and the second time I went quiet. Quiet for about 2 years, and now I'm coming out of that silence. So the Plaza Accords, I'm going to get into that too. That's Japan as well. I have every reason to be biased against Japan, given my history, given my culture, given my family circumstances, as a Chinese diaspora, Taiwanese frog in the well. I have lots of reasons to be like, oh, I hate Japan. But I try very hard to look at things neutral, and Buddhism really flourished in Japan. Some of the most powerful teachings were preserved in Japan. Think about that, right? The journey of Buddhism from India to China to Japan. What a journey to Taiwan too. Some say Taiwan is a haven because mistakes were made during the Cultural Revolution. The Gen Z Chinese will readily admit that and criticize Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, 你的牛肉面好了，哦，3块. So, yeah, all the texts were like, yeah, Japan did a favor to Taiwan. Japan modernized Taiwan. Japan built infrastructure, this framing. But the picture is more like, they built it for their own benefit. And they sucked Taiwan dry. And they bled the Taiwanese people dry. And the Taiwanese people who resisted, they were dealt with. Done. Goodbye. Snuffed. One of my favorite professors, he always used that word, snuffed out. I should use it more. Yeah, and at that time, I was under the influence of a history teacher who I really like, and he sounded like a bit of a communist sympathizer, you know. And I'm just an educator. I just like to talk. I like to teach meditation. I'm not an agent of any kind. Recently, I've been accused of being an agent for the Chinese Communist Party, and I'm recruiting people, and I'm pushing a narrative. I have a script. I just have a bunch of really stupid notes that you can barely read, and they bounce all over the place uh, from my herbal medicine teacher to Blink 182. So no, the Chinese Communist Party would never have me. I'm way too lazy. I didn't even do my hair for this video. Okay, I hate putting products in my hair. Uh, I don't support plastic surgery. That's why a lot of girls will say, "Oh, Larry, you're so cheap. You don't want to pay for my plastic surgery." Well, yeah, it's a freaking tunnel to mental illness. You'll never be happy with yourself. Once you cut yourself once, you'll never stop. Challenge me. Prove it to me. No one gets cut just once. They just keep going. Anyways, I get distracted so easily, right? This my style is for, I think, neurodivergent people or people who can tolerate this bouncing around. Because if 10,000, 15,000 hours of meditation has not changed me, why would your opinion change me? That's just material reality. So yeah, the Western academic consensus framed Japan on Taiwan in a strange way. And then I didn't really think about politics until my meditation teacher, Dr. Tang, took me to China. And then I started engaging more with experts online. There are some very strong speakers that come on Twitter Spaces. And yeah, Elon Musk is very questionable, and Twitter as a platform and the algorithm is questionable. But a lot of heavy hitters come by, uh, high level politicians, low level politicians, statespeople. They come by and give their opinion, and it's nice to hear all the data. So as I listened more to experts, I lost more faith in the Western academic consensus, especially experts from Asia, from India, from the Middle East, from Europe, Africa, South America. These voices that went against the mainstream narrative, and a common thread was, you know what? No matter how much data we provide and how well we structure our arguments, most people won't catch on. Most people will stay brainwashed. And that might just be a brutal fact of our reality. So the next major hit was how the Western academic consensus framed the Plaza Accords. Plaza Accords. Drama, drama. What do you say? Spaghetti, spaghetti? Anyways, what's wrong with me, hey? The Plaza Accords. Like if you do an experiment and you go ask AI, any AI, maybe you can do this experiment and report back, as a friend. I'm not ordering you. You asked the Western academic consensus on AI, what is the effect of the Plaza Accords on Japan, and was it Japan's fault? Why did it happen? Why was Japan not able to recover economically? Why were major brands like Toshiba, Mitsubishi, at the height, and then suddenly they're like second rate or even third rate? What happened? Japan was set to dominate the market. And remember, Japan was once the bad man of Asia too. I remember in 2018, I was discussing with a friend, if things get worse and worse, are we Chinese going to get put in camps here in Canada? But I think things are changing for the better in Canada. I had a guy try to snipe me the other morning when I was in a casual debate spaces. He's been following me for a while. He comes on and he says, "Larry, why do you speak for China while living in Canada? And who are you to do this? Why don't you go to China and join the military?" Well, first of all, my parents invested 150,000 to come to Canada, and this nearly broke them. But they did it for a lot of reasons. Their reasons. I was 6 years old. I came to Canada, and now I have family and responsibilities here in Canada. I have duties in Taiwan too, so I spend my time in between these countries. And I want peace. I want anti war. I want less war. I want less exploitation. So, why can I not have a voice? Everyone has a voice, and I recommend you use it. It's healing. The trauma is stored in your fascia and bone marrow, according to ancient Indian texts. Sanskrit, Indo Aryans, and they contributed much things. So, check it out. So the Plaza Accords, the Western academic consensus, if you go to AI and do the experiment, like I was mentioning, it'll tell you it was Japan's fault, basically. Japan didn't manage it well. Germany faced something similar. They did just fine. Look at Germany. But then if you ask the AI to include Eastern perspective, there's not much of an Eastern academic consensus, like we see with Europe, Canada, Australia, America, the Commonwealth countries. The Eastern people used to really respect this Western academic consensus. We called it 国际新闻. This is international news. This is not some local gabbo. But yeah, if you ask the AI, if you push back on it and say, well, analyze the material conditions and the alliances and the diplomatic relations and the trade relations between Japan and the West and Germany and the West at the time, and also consider geography. Geography is destiny. It'll start giving you, it'll start backpedaling. The AI never apologizes, but it'll be like, You're right. I missed that. Let me reframe the answer for you. Blah, 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 blah. I am the AI. So, yeah, don't talk to AI about mental health, okay? For the love of God, don't do that. There's a rise in this AI counseling therapy thing. Oh my God. Don't do that. I'm not saying therapy is perfect. You know, I criticize therapy heavily too. I promote meditation. Learn a way to meditate. Everyone has a unique path of meditation inside. You don't need to turn off your mind. You don't need to have no thoughts. Everyone can meditate. I wrote a book about it. It's free in my link. I didn't mean to plug it, but it came up organically. Okay, sue me. So that's why I lost faith in the academic Western consensus. The framing is very questionable, especially with matters that are cultural or even that are a bit divorced from hard science, things that you can't easily verify with math and physics. This is where propaganda is really powerful because all humans are emotional, whether we want to admit it or not. No one is fully logical. Even if you practice stoicism or meditation, emotion and logic are inextricably linked. And a lot of men online want to convince themselves that they are cold, calculating warriors and operate on pure logic. Let me push back. Men are more romantic. Men are the ones that say, I'm going to marry you and make you my partner and put you under my wing, and I'm going to build for you and protect you. Men are also the people who um, historically shed more blood. Maybe the world is changing, but that is a historical fact. So a lot of times propaganda is for soldiers too, for military consumption. You have to believe your enemy must be dealt with, right? You must believe that China is an evil beast and China can do no good, etc., etc. So propaganda is very powerful, emotion is very powerful, and men are often more emotional. But the emotional is mixed with concrete and logic and power, and then you get war. Okay, what are we at? We're at 12 minutes already. I had a lot more to talk about, but maybe I'll shut it down soon to not go too far here and stay on topic. Or maybe I'll just go ramble on and on. I'm also going to make more Chinese videos and practice my Chinese. Apparently, Chinese is like the hardest language. I saw an article that was saying Chinese number one hard language. So thanks. Thanks, God. Scratch a liberal and they turn fascist. Have you seen that? Yeah, I've seen that. The person always moral grandstanding, virtue signaling. You give them a little bit of pressure and they crack. They bleed all over everyone. They start cursing or even getting violent. Yeah, I know this person. I talked about in my last video, right? He's from Bhopal. He's drunk all the time. Amar, and he asked me once, Larry, do you think I'm a bad person? Because I heard a lot of bad things about him. And he denigrates women. He talks very rough to women, which is a cultural issue that we see in the East. If I'm honest, right? Everyone has something to work on. So he asked me, Larry, do you think I'm a good person or a bad person? And I said, Amar, it's not so easy to judge a man. We don't know what a man will do or won't do in a moment of pressure, right? They write songs about this, right? Thieves suddenly act like a king, and a king suddenly acts like a snake, and a snake suddenly becomes a loyal dog. Life is complicated, is it not? A lot of people live in the gray area of life, and people want you to pick a side. And if you don't pick a side, you are suspicious, especially in 2026. Political correctness and identity politics have been pushed to a point of we're causing mental illness, we're causing extreme anxiety, but we're also causing people to tune out. Some people are adapting, tuning out, and then creating their own frequency. I'm seeing that a lot with the Gen Z. They're so brilliant. Yeah, boomers, Gen X, millennials, you want to hate on Gen Z, but they're doing something different. So full send, let him go, see how it goes. That's a good place to end the video. 大家再见，我在北京，大家吃个冰淇淋。